Hello and welcome to VLearn. This is session number 8 of Society in India, Rural Economy. Topics to be covered: features of rural economy, traditional rural economy, colonial rural economy after independence. Now in this session we were actually going to have an understanding about the rural economy कि किस तरीके से इंडिया के अंदर रूरल इकोनॉमी परफॉर्म कर रही थी. व्हाट आर द ओवरऑल डेवलपमेंट ऑफ रूरल इकोनॉमी. इफ वी टॉक अबाउट द फीचर्स ऑफ रूरल इकोनॉमी, तो रूरल इकोनॉमी के अंदर क्या क्या फीचर्स ऐड ऑन हुए हैं. सबसे पहला है द कॉन्सेप्ट ऑफ इकोनॉमी डील्स विद द प्रोडक्शन, डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन एंड कंजम्पशन ऑफ मटेरियल गुड्स एंड सर्विसेज. बहुत ज़्यादा प्रोडक्शन एंड डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन में काम करते हैं रूरल इकोनॉमी जो है. एट द सेम टाइम मटेरियल गुड्स बेसिकली प्रोड्यूस्ड होते हैं. दैट मटेरियल गुड्स आर बेसिकली मीन्स दैट इज रॉ मटेरियल, टेक्नोलॉजीज और लेबर्स. So people enter into the social relationship for the organization of production and produce the goods are distributed among the various sections of the society. So society also fulfill the needs of a different kind of services. So this is one of the reason अगर हम लोग रूरल इकोनॉमी की बात करें तो उसके अंदर एक मेन इम्पॉर्टेंट पार्ट का भी है इन टर्म्स ऑफ कि रूरल इकोनॉमी के अंदर बहुत ज़्यादा मटेरियल गुड्स को प्रोड्यूस किया जाता है, मटेरियल गुड्स पर काम किया जाता है. दैट इज़ व्हाट रॉ मटेरियल, टेक्नोलॉजीज एंड लेबर, एंड दे आर एक्चुअली मोर टुवर्ड्स द प्रोडक्शन, डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन एंड कंजम्पशन ऑफ दोज पैटर्न्स. If we talk about the traditional rural economy has been dominant in India since ages. At the same time, agriculture is one of the base in the traditional rural economy. So the whole population, raw material of the rural and urban industries are basically there. In 1981, 76% of the people of the total population basically lived in village, and 63% of Indian population were dependent on the agriculture as they have a source of livelihood on that, and the 60% of working population was engaged in the agriculture. So the major part of the economy is actually dependent on the agriculture. So agriculture was means of livelihood for 6.5% and 58% of the total workforce. The census figure since 1981 clearly shows that there is a decline in the percentage of the people engaged in sector. So yes, now if we see, so now the today's picture is having a little decline on the contribution on the agriculture part. So there was hardly a 40% now who are related to the agriculture. If we talk about the ancient period, yes, rural economy in India goes back to the Indus Valley civilization. This was an urban civilized having a wide agriculture base. They have a wide plants of agriculture. बहुत ज़्यादा agriculture dependence थी. Urban civilizations भी agriculture base से ही आती थी. So below the civilization was the rural people, and food grains from the rural areas were stood for the townsmen. At the same time, the potters made the eastern walls, and the metal workers manufactured articles of the copper and bronze. So this forms an economy change to the pastoral and semi way of life. So in that case, agricultural work था, they were more towards, yes, they at the same time they worked on the manufacturing articles of copper and bronze. इस तरीके के articles में भी वो deal करते थे. Food grains, storing them, selling them, having so इस तरीके की dealing ज़्यादा होती थी एशियन पीरियड के अंदर. When we talk about the pastoral economy, it is basically begins on the Rigved period, and the life of the Rigvedic people are pastoral and semi-nomadic. Towards the end of the period, people start settling in their villages. So they took the cultivation by the means of plowing down by the oxen. So that is what the main occurrence 15 or 100 centuries के अंदर with the help of oxen, उनकी मदद से प्लो किया जाता था लैंड को, और फिर एग्रीकल्चरल पार्ट में ज़्यादा काम करते थे. सो दे वर एक्चुअली बेसिकली कम ऑन द कल्चरल पार्ट, और ट्रेडिशनल टच भी था, एंड दैट इज व्हाई दे सेटल्ड इन द विलेज. सो ड्यूरिंग द लेट वैदिक फेज द एग्रीकल्चरल इकोनॉमी बिकम प्रीडोमिनेंट. एग्रीकल्चर economy is mainly dependent on the predominant part, and the cattle remains the chief movable property of the people. The wooden plow with the khadi plow was used for the cultivation, and functional specialization of labor took place. So Brahman performed the prayer and rituals, and Kshatriya basically earns the livelihood by the means of war and government. So that was the again वैदिक पीरियड के अंदर जब हम बात करें जो 100 से 600 BC में परफॉर्म होते थे, they are on again the same thing. They are on the agriculture, but yes, at the same time, khadi padarth and khadi working was also started, and that is on there. At the same time, labor took place and specialized labor perform करने लगे थे उस केस में. And at the same time, Brahman was there to pray for their agriculture, to request from the god to have a good cultivation. At the same time, Kshatriya are mainly towards the war and governing them. Then in that period, yes, this is what the introduction of the iron based production in agriculture and craft becomes central in the age of Buddha. So 16322 BC के अंदर आयरन टूल्स की मदद से, आयरन बेस की मदद से एग्रीकल्चर को और क्राफ्ट को इम्प्रूव करने की कोशिश की गई थी. सो इट इज बेसिकली लैंड वाज प्रपोज्ड बाय द टू अपर वर्ना, एंड दैट इज टू, ये कौन, दो जो मेन अपर वर्ना थे उन पर ज्यादा डिपेंडेंट थी, दैट इज ब्राह्मण एंड क्षत्रिय. सो बोथ द ग्रेटर पार्ट ऑफ अ लैंड वाज हैंडेड टू द Khampat, that is present property, so belongs to the that varnas. So state and agriculture, when it comes to state control of agriculture become an important features of Mauryan period. Mauryan period, a big farming was established and managed by the state. At the same time, slaved hired labor belongs to the Sudra Varna were employed in them. Royal tax on the agriculture was 1/6 of the produce, which could be rise in the time of emergency. At the same time, जब हम लोग स्टेट एंड एग्रीकल्चर की बात कर रहे हैं तो उस केस में इनकी परफॉर्मेंस उतनी ही ज़्यादा बेटरली इन्वॉल्व हो गई थी. दे आर परफॉर्मिंग, higher laborers are performing, they were establishing. At the same time, Texas rules was basically engaged. बड़े बड़े farmers थे, they actually managed the state, पर टैक्स कंट्रीब्यूशन बहुत ज़्यादा बढ़ गया था. दैट इज़ व्हाट कि 1/6 अपने जो भी वो प्रोड्यूस करेंगे उसका 1/6 उन्हें रॉयल टैक्स देना पड़ेगा, जो इमरजेंसी के टाइम पे बढ़ भी सकता है. When it comes to federal relationship, yes, when it's to emerging the society and bringing out the development, so Gupta period played an important role in it. That is the AD of 13 and 600. They are basically grant the Gupta Empire that the foundational private individual which create a class of powerful intermediary become a king and masses. So grants of land and villages were made to the Brahmans and temple. If we talk about the feudal relationship, so yes, there was a grant of land or officials of the cash salaries, and they are basically working on to the villagers, self-sufficient farmers, self-sufficient trade was they were mainly declining trade and urban centers. So guarantee could despite the present, तो एक guarantee period इसमें शुरू हो चुका था कि एक guarantor की जरूरत है अगर आपको किसी भी तरीके की workings करनी है तो. Medieval period के अंदर again the combination of agriculture and village was there because cotton productions हो चुकी थी, local consumptions ज़्यादा थे. At the same time यहाँ पर एक नई introduction हुई थी, that is what again जहाँ iron goods, iron product tools use होते थे. At the same time जजमानी system was continued to the mode of payment of kind payment के लिए जजमानी system जो use हुआ था that was again started. If we talk about farming, it was a period of abundance of the cultivable land. Agriculture provided the food for the people and food for the cattle. So the land was irrigated by well, dams, canals. So the vast area of a land depended mainly on the nature for sustain, as is largely the case even now. So जो farming है या जो भी land पे dependent working जितनी होती है, that's always be a nature dependent. नेचर पे उसकी डिपेंडेंस ज़्यादा होती है. एट द सेम टाइम दे प्रोवाइड द फूड फॉर द पीपल एंड फोल्डेड ऑफ द कास्ट. इफ यू टॉक अबाउट द आर्ट एंड क्राफ्ट इन दैट टाइम और इन द रूलिंग ऑफ द इंडिया, सो वेराइटी ऑफ आर्ट एंड क्राफ्ट वॉज बेस्ड ऑन and they produce the practices in the rural areas. They produce rope, baskets, sugars, jaggery, that is the good, bow and arrows, dams, leather boots, etc. At the same time, manufacturer and craftsmen fulfill most of the needs of the rural people. When we talk about the trade, long distance canvas trade dealt in the higher value goods. Banjara monopolized trade in the goods of a bulk like food grains, sugar, butter, salt, etc. They were actually monopolized trade. They were actually working into the bulk. So local trade largely meant the trade between the towns and villages. Townsmen received from the rural areas food stuff to eat the raw material and manufacturing various goods. So this is what comes into the trade part, that bulk में जब एक goods जो जाते हैं उसके बदले में अगर किसी तरीके के goods आते हैं, that is trade. So Banjara basically monopolized the trades because they wandered places to places और products की selling करना, उनकी marketing करना, that is what the basically Banjaras do. So townsmen receive from the rural areas food stuff to eat and raw material from the manufacturer. In the classes in the rural areas, yes, during the medieval period, the entire rural population was divided into two broad classes. They are basically constitute the rural segment of ruling the class headed by emperor and his nobles, and they were known as Khat, Mungadam and Chaudhries during the Sultanate period, and the Deshmukh, Patil, Nayak, the Malik, these are on the Mughal period. So the peasant constitute the majority of the rural population, and they are basically pay a land tax. वो basically tax pay करते थे, usually 1/3, but sometimes reaches 1/2 of the produce. So that is what basically the ratio is generally increased when it comes to the classes wise. In the colonial rural economy, yes, the rural economy underwent some important changes. That is what deindustrialization, new land resolution, zamindari system, rotwari system, mahalwari system, commercialization of agriculture. These are what the system was basically introduced in that period. What is deindustrialization? Deindustrialization is basically talking about the colonial rule in India shuttered the traditional rural economy. They broke up the substantial pattern of a growth of the rural economy. So the healthy union between the agriculture and village industry was basically destroyed, and in an economy was basically subordinated to the industry, visit, trade and industry. So that is what basically कि किस तरीके की overall working है industry के अंदर. At the same time अगर British industry की बात की जाए तो they were basically emphasizing on the growth part, and they working into bringing together the or make the subordinate hierarchy to perform the work. In that case, domestic goods were made with the primitive techniques on the same scales also. When it comes to new land reform policy, yes, this is what the British introduced 3 types of land revenue settlement: zamindari, rotwari and mahalwari system. So they are basically the consequence of everywhere. So the payment settlement, this is what under the permanent settlement, the zamindars were get heritage ownership over the very large tract of a land of zamindari. So you already know that in that period the zamindari system comes into the picture, and they are basically comes in to have the permanent settlement with that particular zameen. They get the ownership of that land, that zameen, and they had to pay a certain portion of a land revenue they derive from the present to the colonial government. So कुछ एक पोर्शन रेवेन्यू जो था उस पर्सन को भी देना होता था जिसकी वो ऑलरेडी जमीन होती थी. तो शेयर ऑफ गवर्नमेंट इज बेसिकली फिक्स इन दैट. In Rotwari system, basically the cultivator was recognized as a owner of his land, so subject to the payment of the land revenue directly collected by state. So revenue जो था किसी भी तरीके का वो फार्मर से या जो उसका अल्टीमेट ओनर है यानी कि जो कल्टिवेटर है उस लैंड का उससे ही लिया जाता था. So the rate of a land revenue was periodically revised and rise the compelling the pleasant to get trapped in the indebtedness. तो किसी भी तरीके की indebtedness है या inability है तो वो अपने dues को पे करके या अपनी land को lose करके उन dues को पे कर सकता है. In Mahalwari settlement of land revenue was basically made by a government with the land lord of head of a families who collectively claim to be the landlord of the village. So Mahalwari system के अंदर जो land revenue होता है वो claim करता है that yes that land is belongs to that person and it is the ultimate owner or the money lender of that particular property or area. The consequences of new policy, the government was very rich in collecting the land revenue from the zamindar. So the old zamindar had lived in the villages and they were lenient in collection of revenue from the peasant, especially in the bad time. So in that case, government की जो dependency थी जमींदारों पे या जो trust था वो थोड़ा सा कम था, because they know that कि वो properly revenue connect नहीं करते हैं. This new zamindars generally lived in towns and were very ruthless in the collection of land revenue, even in the case of failure of the crop. So in that case, yes, जो new system आया था उसमें जमींदार are more cruel and they are basically have to collect the revenues whether there was a poor performance or a good performance. Now commercialization of agriculture. The rate of a land revenue was basically high. It had to be paid in a cash. So because it's a commercialization of agriculture, making or promoting the agriculture, so it is what you have to pay a cash, and the cultivator were forced to sell a significant portion of their produce in the market after harvest, allow at a low price. That is what can be allowed, but cultivator must or have to sell the portion of their income in the market. So the cultivator was to remain the half fed or go empty stomach. So the producer was meant to be sold in the European market, and cotton was also reported for the India to feed the British textile mills. So in that case, yes, they are basically cotton. We can take an example in that case to commercialize it, that the British textile mills are basically using that cotton. Now Jajmani system was a very important rural, social and institution in traditional India. It basically grew up during the ascent phase of India history, when the occupational differentiations and specialization of various arts, craft and manual service development, and the owners and non-owners of the land basically emerged in the village. So it maintained its validity in the medieval period. If we talk about the medieval period, so in medieval period, yes, this is the phase where the Jajmani system was introduced. It is one of the very important, जो कि एक social institution को create करता है, social working को create करता है. At the same time, this is what occasional differentiations work on to the betterment of the society. So Jajmani is basically a system of economy and social rituals. They are bond with the different caste in the villages and land owning upper and immediate caste. So they are belonging to the poor lower caste server of the pattern, and the patterns are also known as Jajman, and the service caste are called the Karam Wale and Kamin or Purjan. So Jajmani is what basically ये economic, social और ritual से related एक different caste थी village के अंदर, जिनका काम एक intermediator की तरह होता था, and at the same time they were known as the कर्म करने वाले या कामीन. So that is what the basically Jajmani system is. So Jajmani relationship was basically also related to the neighborhood also, that what kind of a neighbor working was there. So service caste has basically having that responsibility. They have a rights, they have certain obligations to perform it, they have that development, and they have that settlement caste against the panchayat and the village panchayat. In land reform, the land reform के अंदर सबसे पहला जो change अगर हुआ था, that is change in the agrarian structures. So first abolition of zamindari system is the agrarian structure, कि हमने उसके structure बदलने में सबसे पहला जो था वो था कि zamindari system को खत्म कर दो. Its objective was to belong to the cultivators into direct relationship with the state through eliminating the intermediary interest of the zamindars and the chair of the sub in foundation. So the main objective इसका ये था कि किसी तरीके से relationships को enhance करना है, improve करना है, जितने भी intermediaries हैं उन्हें eliminate करना है. That is why जमींदारों को eliminate या abolish करने का decision यहाँ पर लिया गया था. The tendency reform measures taken by the state aimed at providing the security to tenure, reduction of the rent and facilitating the acquisition of the ownership right by the 10 cultivators. So the land rent was basically reduced. It was 1/4 and 1/6 of the value for the gross produced. That is what the gross produced. Whatever the gross is produced, उसका 1/4 या 1/5 वैल्यू ऑफ द कॉस्ट प्रोड्यूस, दैट इज व्हाट द रेंट विच इज रिड्यूस बाय. रेंट भी डिक्रीज कर दिया गया था, सिक्योरिटी प्रोवाइड करवा दी गई थी, रिडक्शन ऑफ रेंट था वहाँ पर. एट द सेम टाइम they provide the good acquisition of ownership that the houses belongs to that particular person, and the tenant got the right to acquire the ownership of a great of a land they cultivate by paying a rent for a limiting time of a year. So that comes into एक limited time period तक आप rent pay करेंगे, and then उसके बाद you can start up as your work. Now ceiling were basically imposed on the peasant family of holding. That is what the land reform is. Land reform say that is acquired the surplus land from the buyers landowners with the due compensation and distribution of the same amongst the managerial peasant. So impact of land reform. So in this impact of land reform, they are basically discussing about the overall impact of land reform was very far from satisfactory. जो impact देखा गया था land reform का वो basically बहुत different था जितना कि expected था. तो in that case small tenants were evicted from the land in the large number, and they were forced into the highly exploitative system of the sharecrops. So they are basically continuous dominance of landlord. Landlord की dominance उतनी ज़्यादा बढ़ती जा रही थी, and the same time intermediary class was basically having that benefit and replacing the older ज़मींदार in the political economical matter. So political और economical issues के अंदर yes जितने भी intermediaries थे वो ज़मींदार को remove करते जा रहे थे, and they were becoming the beneficiary party. Now the Green Revolution, if we talk about the process of a very important biological and mechanical innovation in the agriculture began since the mid-60s is known as Green Revolution. In the beginning, it covers the state of Punjab, Haryana, Western Uttar Pradesh. So in this area, cultivator use highly yield variety of seed, high doses of chemical fertilizers, abundant supply of water of the irrigations, modern agricultural implementations are all used. So green revolution के अंदर the way of performing the agriculture part उसे change किया गया था. जितने भी main 3 states थे जहाँ पर इसे इम्प्लीमेंट किया गया था उसके अंदर जो सीड्स थी वो इम्प्रूव हो गई थी, जो केमिकल फर्टिलाइजर्स थे वो इम्प्रूव हो गए थे. एट द सेम टाइम एग्रीकल्चरल इम्पैक्ट वाज देयर बिकॉज दे वर हैविंग अ वेरी गुड टूल्स एंड मॉडर्न टूल्स. So demand of the agricultural labor has increased. So employment of the hired labor in agriculture has become more prevental. So employment is basically there for the hired labor. At the same time, जो भी gap था, supply of labor in the state like Punjab has been filled by the migrant labor from the other states. So this is what the most striking feature of this farmers, that they are organized in the manner which resemble more of a business enterprises. तो वो recognize कर चुके हैं अपने practices को और practices को सही से perform भी करते हैं. Causes of disparities in agriculture production. Yes, in a greenfield revolution created wild regions and interstate disparity. So the plans was basically implemented only in the area with assurance of the supply of water. So plans वहीं पर काम किए जाते हैं जहाँ पर water supply proper हो, जहाँ पर सब तरीके से proper काम हो रहे हो. Class differentiation was also there. So this was basically defines the caste differentiation also. So in class differentiation, yes, the green revolution has also resulted in the differencing with the present class, which is sign of the capitalized growth in agriculture. So that is what again class difference was basically comes on. The first were basically well-to-do and the labor hiring classes of the rich and middle peasant. So they were the rich, the peasant, they hire the laborers and they have a land with them. Second class is what the rural poor, and they remains the class of the peasantries. If we talk about the benefits of green revolution and rural development program, they are mainly concerned with the big landowners and the rich peasant. So that is what the agricultural labor has stepped in the poverties and employment and underemployment giving the beginning of the 20th century. So in the rural development program, when India achieved the independence in the rural economy, they was plugged with the extreme backwardness in the agriculture, and village industries, poverty, unemployment, underemployment. These are all the difficulties which the Indian economy is basically facing, especially the rural area of the India. So they are basically facing the problems. And the government launches a series of development program. Government ने बहुत सारे series of programs को launch किया. First, the community development project was basically started in 1952. After that, having the good path of these strategies, then the growth was social justice become the motto program, were designed to benefit the special targets group. And then Swarn Jayanti Gram Swahyog Yojana is basically launched. This is what the self-employment program, कि आप किस तरीके से अपने आप को और ज़्यादा एम्प्लॉयमेंट की तरफ लेके जा सकते हो, सेल्फ एम्प्लॉयमेंट को बढ़ाने के लिए किस तरीके से अपने बिजनेस को रिन्यू कर सकते हो, रीस्ट्रक्चरिंग कर सकते हो. दिस ऑल आर दी रूरल एक्टिविटीज जो कि एग्रीकल्चर को इम्प्रूव करने के लिए की गई थी. It was launched in 1999, replacing the earlier self-employment, that is IRDP, TRYSEM and DWCRA, इनको रिप्लेस करके SGSY को लॉन्च किया गया था. Now, impact of new economic policy on the rural economy. Yes, it's having a good impact on that, because as the rural economy of the India facing the very backwardness, so it is removed or help to improve that and lead towards the betterment of the society. So structural adjustment policies advocate the privatization. They import the liberalization, export lead the growth, and they basically emphasizes on the fiscal deficit कि हम कहाँ लैग कर रहे हैं, किस तरीके से हम improve कर सकते हैं, better performance कैसे होगी. There have been a shift in the Indian economies also. At the same time, agriculture was worst affected by the fiscal connections, but which inadvertently result to the disproportions cut in the capital expenditure. So agriculture sector is the mainstay of the rural Indian economy, around which the socio-economic privilege deprivation is solved any changes of its structure, and it is basically likely to have the extension pattern of the social equity. So एक societal equity पर ज़्यादा काम किया जाता है, and they were basically working on the privilege and deprivations resolve. So there are a few questions which you have to do it yourself. पहला है, what were the two important classes that compromised the rural population during the medieval period, and another is what are the green revolution. So this is all about for the today's session. We are winding up here. Thank you so much. Happy learning. We learn.